Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brothers and sisters. So today we're gonna be talking about a very important thing, an important aspect of our life, which all of us need to understand because this is a problem all of us face, and that is the problem of something that doesn't go your way. And we have to keep in mind that that is in the Qadr of Allah. That is in the decree of Allah. And that problem can result into depression, sadness. For example, something doesn't go your way, you get sad, you're like, Ya Allah, why this to me? Why this to me? Now, firstly, you should not question Allah. That is a sin, that is bad. Because Allah, we have to keep in mind is that Allah is Al-Makir. Allah is Al-Makir, the best of planners. And we have to keep in mind that anything that happens is in the Qadr of Allah, and anything which is in the Qadr of Allah, that is best for us. That it will happen. Nothing can remove that from happening, or nothing can change that from happening. Because that's in the Qadr of Allah. And the Qadr of Allah is something which was written by the pen before mankind was even created. So keep in mind that Allah is Al-Makir, the best of planners. And we have to keep in mind of the Nizam also. The Nizam is the Nizam which is within the Qadr of Allah. Now the Nizam which is within the Qadr of Allah is essentially the system, the order, the system which Allah has created. Now this system which Allah has created, this Nizam, this is the most perfect and this is the greatest Nizam, the greatest system and order which has ever been created, which will ever be created, and which is the greatest, is essentially the greatest, alright? The greatest system. Because that system includes all the universes working precisely, all the Milky Ways, all the galaxies, all the unknown stuff as well, which mankind haven't even discovered, but Allah has created that. And we have to keep that in mind, that a nizam, a system in where everything is so precise. The gravitational force, which is so precise. If the gravitational force is a bit higher, we will completely, so we will start floating around. The earth would completely fall down if the gravitational force was a bit higher, and if it was lower, we would just float around everywhere. Everything would float around, buildings would float around, mountains would float around. So how is it that the system, the Nizam, it is so perfect? And it is perfect. That is why that system, that Nizam which is within the Qadr of Allah, is the greatest system, the greatest order that has ever been created, that will ever be created, and it is essentially the greatest Nizam, the greatest system. So it includes, as I told you, the gravitational force, the perfect amount of movement, the earth, the moon, everything made when they're rotating around its axis, rotating around planets. And all the planets rotate around the sun, and that is so perfect. They don't collide with each other, they don't fall down, they don't go up, they don't start going fast. They take the same amount of time every single year, every single time. So that is essentially the greatest system, the greatest Nizam. And we also have to keep in mind that the Qadr of Allah is a thing which we always have to keep in mind. So anything goes bad, to say it was in the Qadr of Allah, and that's not within my hand. And there's an authentic hadith, Sahih hadith, in Al-Mu'jam Al-Kabir, in where Ibn Abbas reported that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that know that whatever happens to you could never miss you, and whatever misses you could never reach you. Now, this is such a beautiful hadith. This is such a beautiful thing that our Prophet, the beloved Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, is saying. He is saying that know that whatever happened to you could never miss you. and that because it's in the Qadr of Allah. If it's in the Qadr of Allah, it could never miss you. And whatever misses you, you could never reach you. And whatever misses you could never reach you. If it's not in the Qadr of Allah, it won't come to you, it won't reach to you. So I really like this hadith. It's one of my favorite hadiths. It's an authentic hadith, Sahih hadith in Al-Mu'ajam Al-Kabir, and it's such like a beautiful saying our Prophet ﷺ is saying, and such a beautiful hadith with such a beautiful deep meaning. We also have to keep in mind that the Qadr of Allah, believing in the Qadr of Allah, is among the 6 pillars of Iman. Believing in the Qadr of Allah is among the 6 pillars of Iman. That the Qadr of Allah is essentially predestination. In English, it is predestination. So we have to keep in mind that the Qadr of Allah is very important, as you have to believe in it, and if you have Iman, you will believe in the Qadr of Allah, because believing in the Qadr of Allah in predestination is among the 6 pillars of Iman. So that is essentially showing another thing that Allah is showing us, that it's so important to believe in the Qadr of Allah, to always have that faith, to always have that Iman, that if it happened, it happened. I can't change it. It was in the Qadr of Allah, predestination, and I can't do anything about it. And there's another hadith. It's a bit long, but I also really like the hadith. It's also a Sahih hadith, authentic hadith according to Al-Albani. It's compiled in Sunan Abi Majah, and it goes as Zayd bin Thabit reported the Messenger of Allah alayhi salatu wasalam said that if Allah were to punish the inhabitants of his heavens and his earth, He would punish them without being unjust to them. If He were to have mercy on them, His mercy is better for them than their deeds. If you were to spend the likes of Mount Uhud in gold in the way of Allah, He would not accept it from you until you had faith in all of the divine providence, such that you know what you acquire could never miss you, and what you miss you can never what you acquire could never miss you, and what you miss you could never acquire, that if you die upon something other than this, you will enter the hellfire. So this hadith is essentially about that anything which is in the Qadr of Allah, it is good for us. It is just. And Allah is never unjust to His servants. Allah is never unjust to His slaves. We are the slaves of Allah, and Allah is never unjust to us. So anything which is in the Qadr of Allah, at that moment you might think that why did that not go my way? Bro, I put in all that effort, man. Why don't go my way? I worked so hard. Why don't go my way? Because anything which is in the Qadr of Allah is good for us. You not going that way was good for you. So Allah created a new way for you that was way and far better than this. So the conclusion part of this hadith is that Allah always makes something happen which is the best for us. So Allah, anything which is included in the Qadr of Allah on behalf of our name, that is best for us, and that is being just for us. And Allah Azza wa Jal is never unjust to His slaves, never unjust to His servants, and Allah always makes something happen which is the best for us, which is the greatest for us, and which is essentially the thing which at that moment we might think that why Allah, why that to be, why this to be, why this happened to me, but it was the best for us. So some examples can be like, for example, if you go to Umrah, alright, if you go to Umrah, you go to Medina, and the place in Riyadh al-Jannah, you gotta take a permit to enter. You took a permit, you did all you could, you put all the effort you did, you did all the instructions, you were a good guy, you did all the instructions, you filled out all the forms, but still, you did not get a chance to go to Riyadh al-Jannah and pray in a place which will be in the day of judgment. It will be taken out and placed in the day of judgment. And you'll be like, Ya Allah, why this? I did all that, I felt everything, I obeyed their laws, I did everything. Why this to me? Ya Allah, I just wanted to go to the house of Jannah for half an hour, pray to you, pray in a place that will be in the day of judgment. It will be in Jannah. It will be taken out from that place in Medina, and it will be placed in the day of judgment and in Jannah. So you'll be like, Ya Allah, why this to me, man? Ya Allah, why this to me? Why this to me? Ya Allah, why could you not let me just go to a place in Riyaz al-Jannah, go to Riyaz al-Jannah for just half an hour, for just 20 minutes. Ya Allah, I just wanted to pray a few nifls there. Ya Allah, I just wanted to do tasbih there. Ya Allah, I was not going to commit any sin there. Ya Allah, I was going to obey you. Why this to me? But the next time you go to Medina, you fill out all the forms, you fill out all the permits, and you get a place in Riyaz al-Jannah. You get to go to Riyaz al-Jannah, but something happens to you, that the officer guards there, that the people there who are essentially the guards, the officers of that area that patrol that area, they feel mercy on you. Allah sends something in their heart that when the next group comes, they don't kick you out, and you stay in Riyaz al-Jannah 2 times. So you stay there for half an hour once. One permit lets you stay there for half an hour, but they don't kick you out, and you stay for another half an hour. In total, you stay for 1 hour. So Allah is so beautiful. You last time you did all the forms, you did everything, but you weren't sent to that Riyaz al-Jannah area for just half an hour. You were sent, you did all you could. But the next time you went to Umrah, the next time you didn't even go to Umrah, you just went to Medina. You filled out that form, you got the permit, you stayed there for half an hour, you're making dua, the officer found mercy, they didn't kick you out, you stayed there for another half an hour. That filled up the last time you came to Medina, and you missed an opportunity to go to the place which will be taken out of Medina and placed in the day of judgment and placed in Jannah, which is the Riyaz al-Jannah. So anything that happens is good for us. So that was just one example I told you guys, but there are many more examples. Now, this other part of the Qadr of Allah, which I'm going to be talking about, is the most common problem. And that is that you got an exam. For example, you got an exam. You're like, yeah, I'll make dua, it's on the Qadr of Allah, I'll get good. But it doesn't work like that. You have to put in the effort. You have to, the more amount of effort you put, the more results you get. And then in an exam, I always have that faith that you just put in the effort, you just put in the hard work, the result Allah will give. And that is not only in exams, that is sports as well. You see sportsmen, whether they are Muslim or not, they put in the effort, they put in so much hard work, and the result Allah gives them. Allah makes them legends of that sport. Allah makes them greats of that sport. Allah makes them big people of that sport. There are many examples. You see Messi, you see Ronaldo. Both of them, they put in the effort. We know that they're not Muslim, but that's how the Qadr of Allah works. You put in the hard work, you put in the effort, you get the result. That's how cricket, you see that in cricket as well. You see those Indian cricketers, Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, all of them, man. Yeah, I know they're not Muslim, bro. My man Virat Kohli has a tattoo as well. Messi has so many tattoos. But why did they get that result? Why did they get that fame result? It's because they put in the effort, they put in the hard work. The problem with our Muslim Ummah today is that they believe too much in the Qadr of Allah. You gotta believe in the Qadr of Allah, but you gotta put in the effort and hard work as well. And this is the most common problem amongst our Ummah today. So my dear brothers, and this is all Allah's also talking about this thing in the Quran. This is mentioned in Surah Shura, ayah number 30, and where Allah says, وما أصابكم من مصيبة فبما كسبت أيديكم ويعفو عن كثيرا. Whatever affliction befalls you is because of what your own hands have committed, and He pardons much. So anything bad, anything that befalls you, anything that happens to you, is because of what you have committed yourself. So you don't put in any effort, you don't study, you don't work hard, you don't go to the gym, you don't do anything. That an affliction that will befall you is because of you. You can't be blaming Allah. You can't be saying, Ya Allah, why me, man? You can't be blaming the people. You're like, bro, this is rigged, man. This exam is rigged. What is this, man? This exam is so rigged, man. So rigged, man. You can't do that, bro. You can't do that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said in Surah Shura, ayah number 30, whatever affliction befalls you is because of what your own hands have committed, and He pardons much. So the conclusion is that we have to believe in the Qadr of Allah. The Qadr of Allah is an important aspect of life, and Allah, anything that happens is from the decree of Allah, from the Qadr of Allah, and anything that happens is always best for us. Allah will always make something happen which is best for us, as Allah is Al-Makir, the best of planners. The best of planners. Allah is Al-Makir, the best of planners. And the nizam, the system which is within the Qadr of Allah, is also the best system that could ever be created. So that doesn't only include the gravitation force, everything I told you about, the scientific stuff. That also includes what happens within our lives, with the system within our lives. That is the best for us. And Allah is never unjust to His slaves. He is never unjust to His servants, and anything that happens is always best for us. So Allah always makes something happen which is the best for us, the greatest for us. But we also have to put in the effort and the hard work, which will result into a greater result itself. So it results into a greater result, and we gotta put in the effort, we gotta put in the hard work, and the Qadr of Allah will show its results. So just put in the effort and the hard work, and the results are in Allah's hands. So Jazakallah khair everyone for watching and listening to this lecture. I decided to make this lecture as this problem of not believing in the Qadr of Allah, too much relying on just, I'll make dua, man. You can make dua, but you also gotta put in the effort. You also gotta put in the hard work. You be like, how those non-Muslims get so rich, fame, how they're so successful? Why? Because they put in the effort. That's the biggest problem with our ummah today. Biggest problem with our ummah today. So may Allah solve this problem of this ummah and grant us the ability to work hard and put in the effort, and grant us a greater life after this life, in the hereafter. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.